Hello. Today we will teach you step by step how to model a simple 3D chocolate classic donut using Microsoft Paint 3D. This course is ideal for those who want to step into the world of 3D modeling and learn the basics of Paint 3D. Let's summarize the topics you will encounter during our training in a few sentences. How to synthesize and create new designs in Paint 3D using simple modeling techniques and rudimentary basic shapes. Adding texture and color to 3D models to make them more realistic and interesting. You can animate the models you create with a variety of basic animations. We will also cover how to export your models to 3D or 2D file formats thanks to export. Without wasting time, we open the program and set the canvas dimensions. To get the most out of this training, following this content and our previous and subsequent or other related trainings that we publish in series will help you understand and achieve much more. We have provided extensive illustrative examples of Microsoft Paint 3D in our previous tutorials, so if you run into problems, our first recommendation is to review the previous tutorials. You will find many of the answers you are looking for there. Don't forget to mention it in the comments, of course. Feel free to share what you would like to see in the next content, what you find difficult or what you would like to see drawn or modeled in 3D, what you find difficult to draw or what you find difficult to model in 3D, and any comments you wish. Our canvas is ready. Now we come to the 3D shape tools. The ring shape, which is the most similar to the donut among the ready-made shape tools, will help us a lot. But if we first take a look at some real reference images from the internet, the design we will produce will be more realistic or more successful. Yes, we think we want to make donuts covered in chocolate and sprinkled with fancy sugar sprinkles. We have selected our ring shape, and with the left mouse button we set the initial dimensions of the shape. If we do it with the Shift key pressed, we can size it by keeping the aspect ratio equal. Once you have selected the ring shape, you can change its size using the frame boxes. Rotate it with the circular arrow keys. Move it along the Z-axis with the vertical arrow key and move it on the canvas by clicking and dragging it to any empty spot. Once in 3D view, you can pan your object or 3D universe by holding down the middle mouse wheel and moving the mouse in the desired direction to observe different perspectives. You can also rotate your object or 3D universe by holding down the right mouse button and moving the mouse in the desired direction. All this allows you to view the model from different angles and different heights. By the way, you can make the canvas invisible or transparent at any time in the workspace. Sometimes when working on a 3D model, looking at it from a single angle can provide much more consistent results. This view is especially useful for checking the symmetry or alignment of the model along certain axes. The 2D top orthographic classic view allows you to see your object from directly above, at a right angle. This allows you to see the actual dimensions and shape of the object. You can also clearly see how the different parts of the model are positioned relative to each other. From time to time, we will also switch to a 2D upper orthographic classical view. Now select the Soft Edge tool from the 3D Shape tools. It is a very useful modeling tool for inflating a flat doodle into a 3D object. The soft edge is perfect for hand-drawn clouds or other fluffy objects, which we'll use here to create the chocolate layer on our donut ring. First of all, we choose a dark brown color to facilitate the selection, and to help in the next stage, we will choose the type of material as glossy. Later we can also change the color and the type of material, enough to see the difference more clearly in the modeling phase. You can define the boundary lines of the shape with your tablet pen or mouse. Then when you close the shape, it automatically inflates a bit inside and creates it for you in the form of a 3D object, a very practical tool. Here is the overall shape of our chocolate layer ready. There is a little bit left in the bottom area, but we will reposition it and we can add some more to fill in the gaps. Yes, the positioning is done. Now we can add some more chocolate to the empty part. But we think this part does not fit well. No problem. We will cancel it with undo and create a new part and position it. Moving closer, we made a more careful drawing and got another piece of chocolate, just the way we wanted it. We thinned and positioned the thick side a bit more, and now we have a finished chocolate layer model. The indigo blue color donut looks colorful, but we don't want to leave it like that. So let's give it a close color to match the color of the donut ring with the bucket tool. We prefer a matte light brown color. It is best to look at the references again and re-evaluate for a better choice. The references show us to use more than one color, so that's what we will do. Actually, a yellowish color with a little bit of orange but with a white transition would be more realistic. So that's what we're going to do, and now we can start painting a little bit. But first, let's get a backup version and put it aside. For this, we select all its parts. Copy it with the Ctrl+C key combination and paste it with Ctrl+V. We also put our chocolate layered objects aside for a while for a comfortable painting process. Now that the donut ring is well insulated, we will use the watercolor brush to decorate the edges with lighter yellow colors and the other parts with light brown and orange colors. By changing the brush size and opacity values from time to time, we started to get the painting or coating effect we were looking for. It is possible to paint our 3D donut ring from every angle by observing it from different angles. Painting 3D objects in Paint 3D is as simple and practical as normal painting. You can use the same brushes and colors. However, there are some important differences because you are painting a 3D object instead of a flat surface like a canvas. The key difference is that if you are not painting on a flat surface like a canvas, you have a 3D object that gives effects based on material properties and light. In the meantime, the painting of our donut ring is finished and we should take a project save as a precaution at this stage. Version 1 project save is ready. Let's place the chocolate layer back on our beautifully colored donut ring. We can also try different colors and materials instead of the current brown glossy color. The chocolate color that will work directly with the bucket tool is expected to give a homogeneously distributed color. Actually, the bright light brown color looks nice too, but is the dark brown more beautiful? We are looking at the references again, and I think we will go for a dark brown and not too bright color. We will create another copy of our version 2 shape and move it to a far edge. Then in the middle we will group all the parts of our donut shape waiting for version 3 into a single object so that it is easier to select and transform on it and we can manipulate the object as a whole. To make our donut model look fancier, we'll add a few more touches. We'll place colorful candy sprinkles on top of the chocolate layer. First, we will create one example of a candy sprinkle and then multiply and diversify it. The cylinder shape is perfect for this work. We are only modeling it in a very small and thin size. It should resemble the reference images in shape and be a bit more realistic. We give the first candy sprinkle we created a light green color and then drag it to a position on the donut model. We also adjust its position on the z-axis to see more clearly how it looks on the donut. It will look better if we rotate it angularly to make the candy sprinkle look randomly sprinkled. From the first candy sprinkle we created, we distribute the candy sprinkles by placing copies close to each other at different angles. A few are enough for now. For more comfortable and accurate coloring, we select the sugar sprinkle objects and move them slightly away from the donut shape. Since we will work delicately and paint small objects, we pour a yellow color that is comfortable to the eye onto the canvas with a bucket tool, and you can continue your work more comfortably. You can make the canvas invisible or leave it white or choose another color. With the help of the bucket tool, we throw different colors into each of the candy sprinkles. You can choose a glossy or matte color. It all depends on your wishes and tastes. These 6 colored candy sprinkles are enough to start with. We select them all and copy them all at once to get 6 more copies of candy sprinkles. We move the newly created copies a little higher and change their angles collectively or individually. So we have 12 candy sprinkle objects in 6 different colors, and it will help us to add sprinkles to a larger area. As we mentioned before, you can increase the number and variety of colors as you wish. For example, here we used different colors like pink for some of the candy sprinkles to make a difference. We select and copy 12 candy sprinkle objects in bulk and place them on the chocolate-covered layer of our donut shape at different angles, adjacent but visible. In places we change their angles to differentiate them, and we keep adding and arranging a single copy of a single sprinkling object in different ways to achieve a more random arrangement. The idea is to give the sugar sprinkles a contiguous but randomly distributed appearance on the chocolate-coated surface to achieve more realistic results. We're almost done. Let's save one more backup project. Then delete the extra and first sample versions, leaving only the final version of our fancy donut model in the workspace. We observe the final version of our model from all angles and even select and rotate our donut model object. However, we forgot one more thing. We need to group the sprinkles and our donut object together. Otherwise they may behave separately in the selection and rotation process. When we combine all the components or model parts into a single object, we have a simple classic donut model object, covered in chocolate and decorated with sugar sprinkles. Now to record the animations, we can move our model with simple animations under the Save As menu, and from there open the video recording section. The rotation animation looks good, but I think some pieces of candy are floating in space a bit. Let's go back to the workspace and fix it. Yes, we broke the grouping by removing the grouping and aligned the sugar sprinkles closer to the donut ring and brought them closer. Now we have a smoother look. As you can see, As long as you have a project record, you can continue to edit the model, and if there are errors, you can rearrange and compensate as you wish. The animation that rotates the object by bouncing and stretching it looks more vivid. Let's create an animation video recording in the form of an MP4 video in this style. You can give the animation video file any name you want. The recording process is actually a rendering process and can take a few minutes, depending on the power of the hardware you have, the duration of the animation, and the density of your models. Keep the word rendering in the back of your mind. This will be a solid start for you when you use more professional tools in the future. Very nice rendering completed and added to the desktop in MP4 video format exactly the way we wanted. Now we can open it and watch the result. At this stage, let's save our project and also save the front view of the 2D donut image in PNG format on the desktop. In fact, it would be better to save a PNG of this 2D front view donut model object with a transparent background, and so we do. If you wish, you can save your model in different views at different angles and positions. We can also save our model in 3D formats to import it into different programs or use it in different places. In Paint 3D we can output in GLB and 3D manufacturing format file formats. Of course, these formats can be converted to other formats in other software, but we can discuss this in more detail in our future lessons. This time we chose the file type as 3D manufacturing format and saved it on the desktop as Donut V2. If you have not associated the 3MF format with any software, it may appear with a white page icon, but this is not a problem, and you can change it later. Observing our 3D model on 3D Viewer is a great way to understand how the model looks and functions. Although it is a simple software that comes by default in Windows, it is quite useful for inspecting 3D models. After opening the program, dragging and dropping 3D manufacturing format or whatever 3D format we have saved is enough to load your model. The fact that our model looks a little darker in the program is related to the environment and lighting. We will discuss these issues in detail in the following chapters. 3D Viewer is easy to use, free, and comes by default in Windows. 3D Viewer is of course not as feature-rich as some advanced industry-standard 3D modeling and animation software such as Blender or Autodesk Maya. It may not support some 3D file formats, but for now it is enough for us in this tutorial. In 3D Viewer you can rotate and zoom the model from different angles and give some simple basic animations and test them. Believe us, making a donut model is 100 times easier than preparing and presenting a modeling tutorial. So if you want to see more detailed and beautiful content, feel free to let us know in the comments and support us. In this tutorial, we walked step by step through the process of modeling a simple 3D chocolate classic donut using Microsoft Paint 3D, exploring basic 3D modeling techniques and how to synthesize and create new designs using rudimentary basic shapes in Paint 3D. We showed how to add texture and color to 3D models and how to paint overlays using different methods to create more realistic and engaging 3D models. In order to unlock the full potential of our models, we animated, 3D and video rendered them, and were able to produce impressive and functional outputs in different formats. We took a detailed look at the types of exports and how to export your models to 3D or 2D file formats. We hope it was useful. We showed all these topics step by step and explained them practically. This series of tutorials on our channel will teach you step by step how to use the Paint 3D editor, each one covering a different topic. We will start with basic tasks and gradually work our way up to more complex features. Each chapter will build on the knowledge from the previous chapters so that you can learn effectively and efficiently. Is there something specific you want to draw or 3D model? What kind of drawings or 3D models do you find difficult? Which drawing techniques or 3D modeling techniques would you like to learn? Feel free to share what you would like to see in the next content, what you find difficult or what you would like to see drawn or modeled in 3D, what you find difficult to draw or what you find difficult to model in 3D, and any comments you wish. Any feedback you can share will help us improve a lot of our future content. One of our goals is to help you and provide you with easier ways to find solutions. We will continue the series with more beautiful trainings and we will be with you again very soon. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to receive notifications for new videos. See you again soon, and thanks for watching.